I used to believe the lie that you needed electronics to find summertime bass. So today I'm giving myself 8 hours to catch 5 bass that weigh 15 pounds with 0 electronics. A little old school fishing. If I can't hit my 15-pound goal, then I'll be doing what you guys said and I'll be jumping in the lake. Let's go. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Today I am fishing a lake up in northern Ohio, and although I have fished this lake in the past, I have always primarily focused on offshore structure and cover, and I've actually never fished this lake in August. So with using no electronics, we will be primarily fishing shallow water today and fishing all new water. Now, one of the first things that I wanted to do when getting to this lake is do a simple run through. I wanted to try to circle around the lake and see what it had to offer. Now, before I could complete my ride through, I noticed a couple of sets of lily pads that were close to the bank. With it being early morning, I decided let's go ahead and just fish some of these lily pad fields to see if we couldn't take advantage of an early morning bite. One thing I noticed right off the bat is that the main lake was actually not as clear as it is once you get up a little bit shallower, which I've seen that in several lakes before, but I don't know if this stuff up here is going to be too shallow or not. Like you can see, I can clearly see the bottom. I think that if, you know, up here in these pads, if there's some sort of matted vegetation, like these northern largemouth are fine being in pretty shallow water, but I just don't really know. You know, I've never fished this lake like this, and I've really never fished this lake a lot anyway, so we're gonna get to it. We actually had a pretty cool night last night, actually a very cool night as far as Ohio standards in the summer. It got down to 54 degrees, and it's still pretty cool this morning, but we're gonna target some of these pads because it was the first thing that I really noticed, and hey, why not a frog? So I might do a little bit of flipping if I can find some good flipping water. I just don't really know what to expect at all. The name of the game today is really gonna be just covering a ton of water. I am seeing some bluegill up here, which is obviously good. That's probably gonna be the primary forage for bass that are shallow. But we're just gonna cover a lot of water. I got a feeling that when we find some, they may be grouped up. You know, a lot of lakes that have a lot of vegetation, that's how it works. You'll fish for miles without catching any, and then you'll find one little area that has a lot. So this little pad field was the first thing I noticed. I'm hearing some bluegill popping, but man, it is some shallow water up in there. So I don't know if it's too shallow without enough. Oh gosh, was that a bite? Oh gosh, I just got hammered. Okay. Wow. Dude, I just got like a good blow up. I'm sitting here talking. That's like the 3rd cast. I've got a few different setups today. A frog. I got a couple of different flipping setups, glide baits. I got a light flipping setup, which is a 1/2 ounce weight with 20-pound fluorocarbon. And then I got like a punching setup. I know there's a lot of potential. I mean, there's a lot of coontail and milfoil on this lake, so the potential for some mats is definitely there. But man, that was I already had a blow up. Maybe I need to slow down a minute. I'm like, I'm excited, but I'm also like shocked that that happened so quick. It literally just came to the first set of pads that I saw. You guys may notice that I'm working this frog pretty fast right now. And I tend to do that when I'm trying to just cover a lot of water. If I get into an area where I start getting bit and start catching fish, I'll slow down a little bit. But sometimes I think that not only can you cover water quicker by moving this frog fast, but I think what it does is it causes a reaction strike. That fish is sitting underneath of a pad or underneath of a mat, and this bait just goes whizzing by him real quick. And so you can actually cause reaction strikes because of how fast you are working the bait while also being efficient at covering a lot of water. So, but the only problem with that is that, you know, for example, like I'm fishing pads right now, and sometimes the faster that you work it, the less likely it is that that fish actually eats the bait because of the pads. You know, it's got to bust up through a pad or on the side of a pad, and if you're working it really fast, you can miss it. But the name of the game right now is not catching everything as much as I'm just trying to locate them. I'm just trying to get a bite or two, and then I'll slow down. And if I have one come up there and bust it and miss it, I'll slow it down and see if I can't get them. Just taking it a couple steps at a time, I guess. I'll flip a little too. There's a fish. Ugh. Come on. Oh, that's a good one. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Holy cow. It just fell out. Look at that. All right, guys. We are about, we're about 20 minutes into the no electronics day. I saw some pads while I was driving, and I'm like, shoot, might as well, you know? And I got up here, and let's weigh this fish quick. A 427. Let's go, baby. Oh my gosh. 427, first one of the day. Look at that big old sucker. Man, look how big and thick and beautiful that fish is. Gosh. I love it so much. I'm gonna go ahead and let that guy go real quick. Thanks, bud. I was literally just running down the lake, looked over and saw a bunch of pads, and I'm like, I don't know, you know, like I enjoy fishing pads. So I came up here, within like 5 or 6 casts, I had a blow up, and didn't get anything else. Started flipping over here because these pads over here are like very, in comparison to the pads that are just right there, these pads over here are very big and thick, and the first fish was a 427. That's really gonna help us to our 15-pound mark. I definitely don't wanna have to be jumping in this water, but man, I can't believe that. That's awesome. It actually just got me really excited for what could lie ahead. So if there's fish in pads, I think that as the day goes, it's only gonna get better. But we'll just find out. Man, that is awesome though. Let's just keep going, baby. Let's keep going. We got just a 1/2 ounce arc tungsten weight here with a Trocar TK130 hook and a Berkeley Pit Boss. This is one of my absolute favorite colors, which is, I think it's called Bama Bug. And man, that was quite the fish to start on, not gonna lie. That fish hit pretty much as soon as it came through the pads. Man, I was glad I got 20-pound fluorocarbon and a 7-foot 6-inch. This is kind of like my all-purpose flipping and pitching rod that I got here. I didn't know if I was gonna need to go to braid, and I still may need to, especially if these fish make their way back. You know, I was pretty close to that fish, but if they make their way back into the pads later in the day, I may need to, I've got a setup here with braid on it. But I definitely believe you get more bites with fluorocarbon because of how silent it is going through those pads. But it doesn't matter how many bites you get if you can't get them out. Gosh, what a freaking fish. That was awesome. Well, I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video so far. This ends up being one of the more memorable days that I've had this year. But real quick, before we get into the rest of the video, this one's brought to you by my apparel company, Finn Fishing. At Finn Fishing, I have a number of products, but one of the ones that I'm most proud of is my USA-made sun shirt. It's one of the only USA-made sun shirts out there on the market. And right now, if you use the coupon code BOGOCAST50, you can actually buy one, get one for 50% off
on these shirts. I have some solid colored shirts like the one that you see here. I also have some camo colored shirts and a lot of other products. So truly the best way to help support the Bass Fishing HQ channel is shopping at Finn Fishing. I will leave some links down below in the description.
Right now I'm actually kind of having to pitch into the holes and the little gaps in between the pads because of how close they are. I might have to pick up that 1 ounce weight simply to get through the, like, look how thick it is right through here. I have some targets, some areas I can hit, but like that's so thick right in there, you can't, you'd have to bust through the pad to get the bite. Ooh. Well, that's another bite. Oh. Did I lose him? Oh no. Yep. Dadgummit.
Now, fortunately, after fishing this first area and getting a few bites, including that 4.27 pound bass, I decided let's go ahead and fish some more lily pads. So I continued to run up the lake and look for lily pad fields.
The biggest difference between these pads that I just fished that I had no bite and the pads that I got 3 bites out of was the pads that I got 3 bites out of were substantially in cleaner water. I don't know if I just noticed that or if, you know, if it's legit. So, but I am going to keep that in my mind the next time we do get bit, assuming we get bit, that have to see if the pads that we get bit in are in clean water or dirty water. Because if that's something that can help us eliminate water quickly, that would be great. Oh gosh. Well, sorry, Bubba. Fish was on there for a while. I don't even think he's a keeper. Dadgummit, look at that little humpback dude. All right, well, we just got fish number 2, a humpback 12 1/8 incher. So just barely a keeper. But you know, we've been fishing now for about an hour and a half. That first little section that I hit, I had that 1 bite, I lost one in the pads, and I caught that 427. And from, you know, I'm trying to find another little section like that. That way that fish weighs 0.85 pounds. But you know what? He's a keeper. So 0.85 pounds. Something interesting about that fish, and I'm gonna let him go, is that I noticed that I just got back into a little bit cleaner water. And I don't know if that's a deal. It might be a deal, but the first section where I had those 3 good bites, it was clean water. And then I fished a couple of sections of pads where the water, it wasn't that it was muddy, but it was just off color. And now I've gotten back into another clean water section, and here we are getting a bite. So I don't know if it's a deal. Maybe it is. I'm just gonna kind of pay attention to it. And if it continues on, then that could really help me eliminate pads quick, because I can be able to pull up to them, see if, you know, they're in the right color water. If they are, fish them. If not, leave. And that can really help me to just be more efficient out here. But you know what? I'm really happy to just get another bite. Got another keeper. You know, usually I'd be happy with 2 fish that weighed 5 and 0.13 on the scale right now, but I know one of those is a 4 1/4. So that other one, we're definitely gonna have to get out of there. But hey, it's another keeper towards our 15-pound goal. At this point, I actually it may not be bad to jump in the water, because I'm already hot. It's not like that warm out, but it's so still and the sun is just blasting me. So we need to get to fishing. Let's keep doing it. One thing about this little patch of pads I'm fishing right now is it is in very shallow water. There's enough overhead cover with the pads, but I mean, that fish probably came out of about a foot. So the other fish I thought maybe had more like 2 foot of water under the pads. So just trying to process what I'm seeing and try to figure out what these fish are doing, you know, and well, you know, what the fish without electronics are doing. I'm not gonna lie, I've really enjoyed just being out here and fishing and not staring at the screen. But it's a process. Everything about bass fishing, man, it's just a process. You're taking in clues and you're trying to make guesses about what to do next. Gosh, there's one. Oh, did I lose him again? Dadgummit. Might have to go to braid. Just lost another one. I want to keep a 1 ounce weight on one of these rods just in case I know that there's, you know, I've been seeing coontail and milfoil, and so if I come across a really thick mat, I don't want to have to rig up for that. So what I might do is just rig up a whole new rod with braid. That might be my best way to actually get the fish out of this stuff. Today is probably going to be about the numbers. You know, if I get 10 bites all day but only land 3 or 4 of them, then that's not going to be good. Gosh. Man. I don't know how many fish I might have to go through today to put 5 in the boat, but that fish was a pad shaker. And I waited too long to set the hook. I thought maybe if I waited a minute, he'd have it good. But the problem is because I waited and the water's so shallow, he actually swam about 5 foot to the side. And so when I set the hook, I just kind of popped the slack pretty much. And the braid did its job. It ripped to the side and it ripped through the pads. But I just don't think I had enough to get a hook in them. Okay. Alrighty, well, we just got fish number 4 or 3. It's another small keeper. He's definitely a 12-incher though, so that's good. But I've had a few bites, but as you guys know, I've lost quite a few of them. So this is not easy right now. He is a 1.12. 1.12, so just a small keeper, but a keeper nonetheless. I'm gonna fish the rest of this little section of pad, and then I'm actually gonna go back to where I had those bites earlier, because I know at least, I mean, obviously I had the real big one, but I had another really good bite, and I didn't really fish that section maybe as slow as I could have. So I'm gonna go back through there, fish it slow, and then we're gonna keep on trying to do a little bit of pads. There's a bridge over here in the distance that I might try to pull a square bill out on and crank a little bit, just to try to find something outside of pads, because obviously this isn't the only thing I could be doing. But right now I'm just trying to get some juices flow, and it's very I'm not getting a lot of bites. It's few and far between, and I wish that I mean, obviously I got the one big one, but it seems like every one that I lose is a big one. You know, that's how it always is though. So, but I need to stop talking about it. This bite, I feel like, should just continue to get better throughout the day. So more fish should pull into the pads with the sun getting up, and hopefully we can really find, I feel that if we do this a lot, we will find that little section that has a lot of fish in it. So that's what I'm really looking for right now, but we just got to find it. Now, after fishing several different sets of pads and catching a few keepers as well as losing some fish, I decided that I wanted to run back to that first lily pad field where I'd had that big fish blow up on a frog and caught that big fish flipping. With the sun starting to get overhead, I just wanted to see if there was anything different about these lily pads that was producing a bigger bite than the other ones that I had been fishing. Now, of course, when I went to go back to that spot, there was another bass boat sitting right there. So I decided to go past that spot to another area where I knew there was lily pads from earlier in my run through. Here we go. Let's go. Okay. Thought he was a little bigger than that, but there we go. What I was just talking about. Haven't seen anybody in these pads, and came up here shoeless and caught us one. All right, we just got fish number 4. Not a giant, another keeper. But man, he really had that thing. I was just talking about how I just came over a pretty large shallow flat, I mean 1.5 feet deep, and I was really thinking I just need to turn around, but I stood up and actually saw about a 3-pounder. Let me weigh this fish quick. Okay, that fish weighs 147, gives us 773, so we're a little over halfway to our goal. We need a 7-pounder. Nice little fish though. But what I was saying is that, you know, we came over this really shallow flat, and everything, the fisherman in me said, hey, just turn around, get out of there, it's too shallow. But I found a lot of times that all of us anglers think alike, and so if everyone is coming up and saying it's too shallow, then that means sometimes you can find a place completely by yourself where you don't have to deal with other people or any other fishing pressure. And sometimes you find areas that just aren't good, they're too shallow. But anyways, high risk, high reward. Came up here, got a bite, and hey, it's number 4. We've been fishing for about 3 hours, and we got 4 bites. My hookup to land ratio has definitely gone up using the 30-pound braid. Wish I'd kind of done that earlier, but hey, you know what? It's all a process, and we got another almost 5 hours to try to get up to 15 pounds. So we really need to get some bigger bites, kind of like that one earlier. Even those couple that we had earlier were the right quality. So we're just gonna keep on keeping on. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. I hope that you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because this is a ball. Gosh, that was a great big one. I'm telling you, a great big one just came up there. I'm talking big and. Dude, I had him, man. I think I set too hard again. I'm getting too excited. I'm telling you, that was a giant. Man, that makes me upset to have that kind of, that fish hit that frog, and I'm telling you what, it was, you could just tell it was a giant. And I made 3 or 4 casts back in there with that frog, and he never came up. So I made a long pitch with that 1 ounce weight, popped it through there, and he finally made his way to it, and he just boom, and then just again slow pull, and I set too hard. The reason that I know that I set too hard is because when you blow a fish's mouth open on the hook set, you'll feel it for a split second and then it just slackline. And I felt it do that with both of those last two fish. And that's when I spent 5 weeks down in Florida a number of years ago, and I did a lot of flipping and pitching mats, and it was just a hard lesson for me to really learn that hook set with a big weight. It's not the hook set you want to give them when they're in that cover. You got to kind of just lean into them, and it's hard for a guy like me. I mean, if you guys have watched this channel, you know that I love to set the hook hard, and it's hard for guys like me, and I struggled right there. All right, we're doing the right thing. We gotta land them. We gotta land them. Come on here, buddy. Let's go. All right, just got us one punching. We've man, we've had quite the fiasco, but I'm telling you what, there's a group of fish in these pads, and I'm telling you, there's so many guys that would have just came up here, myself included, for a long time and just turned around. It is so shallow for so long. It's a little bit better one there, 2.42. Oh, sorry, 2.38. And look at that chunky fish. Just over 10 pounds now. Beautiful fish. Man, I would have liked to have seen those other ones. But there's definitely fish here. I'm gonna really ease my time around and fish this hard. It's not that big. I mean, I'm halfway through it already. So, but there's a lot of fish up here, and I'm so disappointed that I lost some of that, especially that last one. I mean, both those last two felt really, really big, but it is what it is. This is still a lot of fun. One thing that's a little bit different about these pads versus some of the other pads that we fished today is this one has a lot more mixed in chopped up grass that's making little mats, which is just that much. I mean, if you look down there, you can see what I'm talking about. There's just some chopped up grass, got some coontail that I'm definitely seeing. That's actually where that last fish came. He was just right under the mat that's like right there. So little extra chopped up, little extra cover. I love fishing chopped up grass mats like that. Man, there's a lot of fish in this little area. Let's go, baby. God, I think these are some better ones around here. That's gonna help a lot. Getting to be fun. A little bit better one there. It seems like I'm just running into a little bit better quality in this area here. I just wish I would have seen a couple of them ones. We're doing it though. We're making it happen. Just got to keep on keeping on. We can get it done right here maybe. That is a 282. Replaces that 0.85 and gives us over 12 pounds now. Look at that. Beautiful fish. Thanks, buddy. So we've been fishing for about, what is that, 4 hours? Yeah, about 4 hours. I'll tell you what I've been flipping is this little X Zone 3.5 inch. It's a smaller adrenaline curl, and I was flipping that Berkeley Pit Boss, but I rigged this up on the heavyweight, the 1 ounce weight, and they seem to be liking this just fine. Let's go. Now, after catching several fish and again losing several fish, I definitely noticed that the biggest difference with this lily pad field that held a school of fish was that you had a lot of mixed in milfoil and coontail grass inside. Some of the other lily pad fields that I had been fishing were just straight lily pads with a cleaner bottom, but this had a lot of other grass mixed in. Sometimes I had to use a 1 ounce weight to punch through the matted cover. So my goal was to find a similar looking area, but I really quickly wanted to check that first spot that I wasn't able to get on to see if I couldn't fish slowly through it and catch another big fish. Well, we spent a good amount of time in that one little area, and this is actually the first area where I caught that four and a quarter. I wanted to come back here and there was a boat sitting here, but I'm gonna go ahead and fish through this now and see what happens. Not sure if he'll help us or not. I believe our small fish is at 112, 121. Helps us out a little bit. Interesting, I was just about to go really fast, and what I'm really thinking is the deal. This is exactly where I caught that 4-pounder earlier today, like literally right there. And most of those pads over there, except for where I got the other bite earlier today, don't have a lot of grass in them. And then I get right over here and you can see there's milfoil in there. And so it really seems like the areas that are holding these fish, I think that they can be a little bit everywhere, but the areas that seem to be holding the fish are where you have some sort of coontail or milfoil or chopped grass mat kind of mixed in with the other with the big lily pads. So that seems to be kind of the deal, and that's what I'm really going to kind of concentrate on probably from here on out, because I mean it's like clockwork right now. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go, baby. Let's freaking go. There we go. Another good one. Back here where I caught that 4 1/4 earlier, and it seems to be that mixture, just like what I was just talking about. If you get around a mixture of the milfoil or coontail in the pads, that's where these fish are. And it's little small sections, like very small sections. That fish is gonna help us a lot. All right, our little is a 121. That is a 257. Golly. Nice, 13.5 pounds. 1.5 pounds away from our goal. Beautiful fish, beautiful fish. I'm gonna really slow down in this little tiny area. I mean, it's 50 yards wide, and just pick it apart. Gosh, that was awesome. Oh, that was awesome. We've got a 147. So if we can catch a 3-pounder, we're gonna hit our weight. So we've got, it's 12:22. So we basically got 2.5, 3 hours. I started fishing right about 7:22. I'll probably end things though right about 3 o'clock. So a little under 8 hours. But man, that was, I love this. Now, after catching a few fish in this particular spot, I really felt like I just needed to look for the mixed in grass. So I decided to run way up the lake, past the bridge, because I knew that there was a lot of lily pads in this section. And if I could find some areas with that mixed in grass, maybe I could find another big school of fish. Now, after fishing in the northern section of this lake for about 15 or 20 minutes, I just realized that it was going to take a lot of time. It was going to take too much time to really break down this giant pad field. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna do it. I've only got about 2 hours, and there is so much here. It's gonna take longer than 2 hours for me to dissect this. And I know I can, there's three or four little areas, little pads that I didn't hit in that south end of the lake yet, that if I could spend the same amount of time hitting those more isolated sections, and I just feel a lot more confident that I'm gonna catch some, or at least see exactly what I want to see, if that makes sense. So I think that's what we're gonna do. The good thing is that I knew exactly what I was looking for, so I didn't really waste too much time fishing just around lily pads. If it was just lily pads, I would fish through it fairly quickly with a frog and flipping the outside edges. But the more I looked around, I really didn't see exactly what I was looking for. So I decided to try and run back to the spot where I'd caught so many fish earlier to try to fish through it one more time before the end of the day. Well, we just got an upgrade. We got about a half hour left to fish, and I was just about to leave. This is that area where I had caught them pretty good this morning, or at least had a number of bites, and I already had one bite and missed it. That's definitely gonna upgrade us a little bit. It's probably not gonna be enough, which stinks. 227 calls out a 147. 1433. Oh my gosh. Okay, we still got a half hour left. Solid fish there. I was just about to leave, and I think I still am, because I fished through the main stretch without any bites. I think around the corner there's another pad field, so I'm gonna retie real quick, and then we're gonna head over there. Dang it. Come on, Ty. I got too excited. I actually saw the lily pad move, flipped over there. He was there. He just held on to it, man. Oh, that ain't gonna help us, but that's definitely a fish. That wasn't the same spot. I saw another lily pad move. Maybe we got a little school of them. Let's check real quick, see how big he is. That ain't gonna help us. It's not a 220 something. 174. That was crazy. That was not that. That was 20 feet away from where that other bite was. And I saw a pad move, turned back, saw another pad move, pitched in there. That's what yielded both those bites. But yeah, we got some good, the right ingredients right here. We can make this happen. We got the grass, we got some, even got some depth. This actually has some of the best depth I've seen. Oh my gosh, that hurts. my gosh, it's her. Are you kidding me? I'm so jacked. Dude, I'm talking 3:15 I needed to be done. 3:15. It's 3:09. You see that on my watch? 3:09. Are you kidding me? Not jumping in this lake, baby. I know it's no tournament, guys, but oh my god. $401. That's 2 4-pounders. 1607. That's pretty good. And helps them stop bleeding. All right, buddy. Thank you so much. Well, I hope that you guys enjoyed this no electronics day. I know that I did. I mean, that 1 4-pounder at the very end of it, I mean, come on. I can't explain how ecstatic I am. But that was awesome. Super fun day, a little over 16 pounds, and caught them just in a fun way, all flipping and pitching. So, you know, you don't need electronics to catch a decent bag, and that was fun. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this one, you may like my other Lake Break series videos. In those, I do use electronics, but I'm planning to do more no electronics in the future. So you can click on here. There's a playlist for all the Lake Break series. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.